Hey, hi, and hello everyone, I am the Sneaky Sandman. Today is not what I normally upload on my video. Instead, this is a new kind of video series I wanted to start up called a Let's Talk on anything and all things Watch Dogs. Well, anything and all things that I want to talk about Watch Dogs. So why not start this video off with the gameplay, the topic of the gameplay itself, which is online decryption. Now, when I first got Watch Dogs, I didn't think that I would be getting it for the online because the single player looks so... it would look kind of new and fresh with the idea that you could hack into anything about people's lives, walking around, you can figure out who they are, take their bank account information, all kinds of shady things like that. But the online has really surprised me, especially this game mode. I find that I'm spending a lot of time in this game mode after I finish the single player. And there's lots of things I like about it. First off, let's start with the classes. Now, the Watch Dogs does not have customizable classes, which I think is kind of a positive, because usually customizable classes lead to those videos about overpowered classes, exploits, and just taking customization out of that aspect of this game does give it kind of a solid foundation to build off of, like DLC with, because you don't have to worry about people finding exploits, making patches to stop the exploits. And the most kind of stark image in my mind of exploiting through customization is that all the way back when Modern Warfare 2 one-man army and that noob tube danger close stuff, that was quite a fun time, I think. So with the classes, the very first one that you have unlocked is the balanced. It's like it's the assault rifle class of the online decryption mode, with the ACR and the semi-auto shotgun as a sidearm. I like this class. I like it with the more larger map game modes, because the ACR allows for you to get those headshots of moving vehicles, which does help a lot in online decryption, because a lot of players like to just take the file, get in a car, and then drive around for like half an hour for the rest of the game. So the ACR does give you stopping power to take those guys down. The sidearm itself too is pretty good, the M1014, but only negative about the sidearm is that the range is kind of short. Now the second class is precision. It's the Vector with the MP9, I think, is the sidearm. And this is one of my favorite classes, mainly for the Vector, because the sidearm is kind of lackluster, if you ask me, with the 3-round burst, and it's not the strongest of sidearms either. But the Vector itself, even with the 20 bullet clip size, it's pretty lethal with the laser no recoil shot. And it's one of my favorite weapons. I'm using that in the game mode for the majority of it. I do pretty well with it. The third is the sniper class with the M1014. No, not the M1014. M107. And sniper is decent. It's not my favorite, because usually chest shots are 2-shot kills with that sniper. I would have thought it would be the destroyer, but I guess that would be kind of overpowered for the online game mode, since it does wreck cars in one shot. And I find myself sometimes using the sniper class just for the sidearm. I like to run around with the Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle is pretty strong in itself. And the nice thing about the sniper and one of the later classes, the heavy duty, is the proximity IED. That takes away the need for the normal IEDs to actually activate it and set it off yourself. Whenever somebody walks by, it just goes off, which is pretty nice. After sniper is the Chicago way, or the gangster way, with the Golden Thompson with the nice 40-50 round clip, round drum, and the chrome sidearm. That's it's a pretty versatile class, but the Thompson itself, it's very inaccurate, especially when you hold it down. The recoil is just all over the place with that one. It's not one of my favorite, but the chrome sidearm is pretty nice. And after the Thompson is the firepower class with the noob tube and the Glock fully auto sidearm. That's a pretty nice class for when you're in those lobbies with the people that like to drive around. You can shoot a number of noob tubes at the car, wreck it, and then hop out of the car with your sidearm and mow them down. That's a nice tactic. And the last one is the heavy duty, the LMG with the, I think, double barrel sidearm shotgun with the proximity IEDs. The heavy duty is pretty nice. The recoil in itself isn't that bad compared to the Thompson when you hold it down, so it's a pretty nice LMG. And those are the classes. My favorite out of all of them is the Vector class. it's swapping. It's usually changing in between the vector and the ACR, the balance class. So I really enjoy that the Watchdogs decided to put their own custom classes in that you unlock through progression, which is a nice aspect of online decryption. And I like how they changed the equipment too for each class. The frag grenades, that's one of the problems I have with the online, or it's not really the online, it's mainly just the equipment usage itself. I find that I'm pushing R1 often, since I play on the PS4. I find that I'm pushing R1 often, and it's just, I have to push it repeatedly, or I have to hold it down and actually aim it instead of just the quick throw, which I like to do in-game, and it's often led me to getting shot down a number of times. Not sure if that's my controller, or it's just not very responsive with the character and throwing the equipment. One of the negatives, and another of the negatives, which I've run into quite a lot on Watchdogs or online decryption, is when you start up in a game, or it could be halfway through a game too. That's happened to me as well. You're running through the streets trying to find a decent car to get into to chase down the file carrier, and then cars randomly just pop right in front of you, spawn right in front of you, cut you off or run you over. And that's a real annoyance, especially when you're right on the tail of a file carrier and a car just comes out of thin air, takes you out of your car, and just ruins your day is what I like to think. It's not fun. That was a pretty interesting shot right there of what just happened to the gameplay. Get knocked off a building and find the guy just kind of chilling in the back of the map, and I'd do the nice takedown and take down most of the team that was hiding out over there. So this is a pretty exciting gameplay, I like to think. It kind of has everything: equipment kills, takedowns, and headshots with the vector. And yeah, that was most of what I like to cover of the online decryption mode. We'd come across with the win. I myself did pretty well, 15-2. I think that's a pretty decent outing for online decryption. So hopefully I'll have the next Let's Talk Watchdogs on another game mode. And thank you guys for watching. I'm the Sneaky Stamp, and yeah!